is 5.1 Introduction to Quadratic Functions, and in order to find if something is a quadratic function, you have to show that f represents a quadratic function. And in order to show that a function is quadratic, you must find a, b, and c. Now we're going to be showing how an original equation is turned into a quadratic function and how we find a, b, and c. And the original equation is 3x minus 2 times x minus 2. And the next step is to FOIL those into a quadratic function. So, as you can see, we have a quadratic function, and we can figure out what a, b, and c are by what's in front of the x squared, the x, and what is just a regular number, because a is in front of the x squared, b is in front of the x, and c is just whatever number without a variable is. So we can tell that that's a quadratic function because it has an a, b, and c. And next we're going to be doing one that's a little bit different, and it's 7 minus x and 2x plus 5. And we do this by foiling first of all, and then also identifying a, b, and c. And you foil it just like you would foil any other problem. You can just like reorganize and distribute it later in the problem. For a graph, you can either do it on a calculator or by hand. The graph of a quadratic function is a curve called the parabola. If a is greater than 0, the parabola opens up and the vertex is the minimum point. If a is less than 0, the parabola opens down and the vertex is the maximum point. All parabolas are symmetric due to the axis of symmetry, which is intersected at a point called the vertex of the parabola. Next, we are going to get the equation negative x squared plus 2x plus 5. And first we're going to find a, b, and c, and a equals negative 1, b equals 2, and c equals 5. And the parabola opens down because a is negative 1. And here's the example of how the parabola would open down. And then this right here is the vertex. And the vertex is 1 and 6 because it's the point where the two lines meet. And to find the domain and range, the domain is all x's because all x's beyond this point. And the range is all less than 5 because 5 is the last point on the y line. And the axis of symmetry is x equals 1. You can also figure all this out by doing it on a calculator and putting it in either a graph or a table and finding the minimum or maximum value by tracing the points on the parabola. And you can also find the vertex by tracing the points on the parabola and lots of other vertical and horizontal things. In order to see if something is a quadratic function, you have to show that f... You guys can't talk!
We're going good.
I'm Ron Weasley,
I'm Harry Potter.
and we are here to tell you that this is the end of the math project.
Yeah.